The number of people with top secret clearance will shock you. A version of this story appears in CNN's What Matters newsletter. To get it in your inbox, sign up for free here. CNN. The central question surrounding the FBI's search of Mar-a-Lago last week is the one that remains most unanswered. What documents did former President Donald Trump have, and why is the government so intent in getting them back? The receipt for property that was seized during the execution of the search warrant by the FBI at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, is photographed Friday, August 12, 2022. There are other questions, of course. Did he take the material because he thought they were cool, like some kinds of trophy? Or did he see some advantage in having them? The New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman wondered during the appearances on CNN's New Day on Monday. Were the documents related to the Roger Stone's pardon by Trump somehow key evidence? What is behind the appearance of material on the president of France in the receipt for what was taken? The imagination runs wide in the absence of fact. Trump has now demanded the document be returned, even though presidential papers under US law are not his property. The most tantalizing detail is that 11 sets of documents were classified, which shining a light on the system of classification by which the government hides information from each people in the name of everyone's national security. More than a million people have top secret clearance. It's actually a very large universe of people with access to top secret data. The Director of National Intelligence published what is described as an annual report, security clearance determinations, although the most recent one I could find was from 2017. In it, more than 2.8 million people are described as having security clearance as of October 2017. More than 1.6 million have access to either confidential or secret information, and nearly 1.2 million are described as having access to top secret information. There are additional people who have security clearance but don't currently have access to information. This includes civilian employees, contractors, and members of the military. Agencies control their own classified data. They are supposed to declassify it. That doesn't mean more than 1 million people have access to whatever top secret documents are lying around the Mar-a-Lago, which each agency that deals in classification has its own system and is supposed to be involved in declassifying its own document. Trump's defenders have argued he had put in the place on order to declassify any document he took from the Oval Office to the residence during his time in the White House. Although president professionals have said this claim cannot be true. The idea that the president can declassify documents simply by moving them from one physical location to another is nonsense on so many levels, said Sean Turner, a CNN analyst and former director of communication for U.S. National Intelligence, during a Monday appearance on Inside Politics. There's an official process. Turner said the process for declassification must include sign off from the agency that classified the information in the first place in order to protect the intelligence gathering process, its sources and method. The president have periodically used the executive orders to update the official system by which classified information is declassified. Most recently, then President Barack Obama put in place Executive Order 13,526 in 2009. There's still the official policy since neither Trump nor President Joe Biden updated it. The government might soon change the process. Biden started the review of how classified data is handled earlier this summer. Here's an exhaustive Congressional Research Service report on the declassification process. Biden's review will re examine the three general levels of level classification. Levels of classification. CNN's Kite Lovosko wrote a very good primer on classified data last week. Here's her description of the three levels of declassification. Top secret. This is the highest level of classification. Information is classified as top secret if it reasonably could be expected to cause exceptionally grave damage to the national security, according to a 2009 executive order that describes the classification system. The subset of top secret documents known as SCI or sensitive compartmented information is reserved for certain information derived from intelligence sources. Access to a SCI document can be even further restricted to the smaller group of people with specific security clearances. Some of the materials recovered from Trump's Florida home were marked as top secret SCI. Secret. The information is classified as secret if the information is deemed to be able to cause serious damage to national security if revealed. Confidential. Confidential is the least sensitive level of classification. Applies to the information that is reasonably expected to cause damage to national security if disclosed. What kinds of things are top secret? The former CIA officer David Priest, who is now publisher of the website Lawfare, said on New Day that no matter the specific classification, each information the government has interest in not being made public. It could be international intelligence gathered on the North Korean nuclear program or Russian military operations. For example, leaks can be disastrous or deadly. The government often gets this type of information by asking people to risk their lives or using technology it doesn't want adversaries to know about. Talking about it on Monday morning, Priest became emotional. Exposing this information put people's lives at risk, he said. That's not a joke. We know people who have died serving their country this way. What took so long? The larger question than what's classified, Priest argued, is why. If the government knew the documents were at Mar-a-Lago, it took investigators so long to go get them. In order for the president to declassify anything, he argued, there still needs to be a paper trail so everyone knows that something is declassified. If they are not marked declassified and the other documents with the same information aren't also declassified, did it really happen? If there is no record of it, how do you even know? We may not know we may not know more for a very long time. The problem now may be that imaginations will run wild about what is in the document. It could be a very long time before American voters have any idea what this was all about, what all really about. Technically, we won't see any further action on this case on the legal docket unless and until DOJ brings criminal charges against any person, said CNN legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Ellie Honig, also on New Day. Already, there is some speculation that rather than pursue charges, the government was simply trying to secure the data. Classified information can stay that way for years and years, between 10 and 25, according to a declassification guidelines signed by Obama. The standard is that if something no longer needs to be classified, it should be declassified. And if it needs to be classified past that 25-year period, it can be. Look at the top secret document of your the FBI, CIA, and the State Department all have online reading rooms of previously classified data released through the Freedom of Information Act. None of it is very recent stuff. The case of Trump's the Mar-a-Lago document seems special, however, and there are already bipartisan calls from Senate Mark Warner and Marco Rubio, top elected officers on the Senate Intelligence Committee, to Director of National Intelligence Avery Haynes and Attorney General Mary Garland, asking for more information about what is taken by the FBI. Examples of prosecutions. Prosecutions for mishandling of classified data can involve high profile figures. For example, retired general and former CIA director David Frost gave classified information to his mistress, who was writing a book about him. He ultimately pleaded guilty, paid a $100,000 fine, and got 2 years of probation. What data did he mishandle? From CNN's report at the time, during his time as commander in Afghanistan, Patriots kept personal notes including classified information in 558-inch black note. The classified information included the identity of covert officers who were strategic, notes from diplomatic and national security meetings, and security code words. Other figures are not as familiar, like Asia Jalei Lavarello, a civilian Defense Department employee working in the U.S. Embassy in Manila, who took the classified documents to her hotel room and her house while she was working on the thesis project. She got 3 months in prison.